expecting more participants, but still we are waiting for enough number. I welcome you all again in this second day of AICTE ATAL FDP on design thinking, and I'll welcome our resource person of today's session, Shikha Maheshwari ma'am. She is from IBM, and uh, we have been in contact from a long period of time. And I have attended many sessions by Shikha ma'am, and I welcome Shikha ma'am again in this session. I hope you will be learning a new way of thinking, new way of problem solving by this session, through this session. So to formally welcome Shikha ma'am, I request the session coordinator of this session today to formally invite and introduce the speaker of this session.
Good evening to everyone. Today is the second day of our AICT ATAL FDP on design thinking for next generation AI solution. Hope you all are enjoying the session and found it productive. With respect to design thinking, for today's session we have Ms. Shikha Maheshwari ma'am from IBM and Mr. Lalit Pansar from Kojic Foundation. First session will be delivered by Ms. Shikha Maheshwari ma'am. She is a software architect at IBM Cloud with over 19 years of experience in the IT technology and service industry. Throughout her distinguished career at IBM, she has held key roles in cloud architecture and cognitive solution and technical leadership, driving innovation across cloud, AI, blockchain, Kubernetes, and OpenShift technologies. A gold medalist in computer science engineering, Shikha Maheshwari ma'am holds an MTech in computer science from Manasthali Vidyapeeth and is widely recognized as tech, tech speaker and educator. She has contributed to several IBM publications and earned multiple professional certification and holds a patent with IBM. Passionate about digital transformation, she continues to bridge technology and innovation to create impactful enterprise solutions. Now, Shikha Maheshwari ma'am will continue the session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Shall we get started, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please start your session, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I think people are putting messages in the chat regarding audio. Please check that part. I hope I am clear and audible.
Ma'am, you are clearly audible.
Okay, good.
I hope the
Yeah,
mic was not on from the participant side.
yeah, good. Okay. Okay, so good evening, everyone. And I hope it's a weekday after a full day, other activities. Now we are back to the learning part for our, from our side. And for me, it's like a full day working day, and then I'm coming to the session. So when and as sirs already mentioned, I have really done like multiple sessions with this university, and it's always a good experience to talk with, likely minded people, I must say, because teaching and learning is what my passion is, and that's how I always connect with different universities, different colleges, students, and deliver sessions as it's like by my choice. Okay. So while we were connecting and discussing about the topics on the design thinking over the AI, then we thought why not to bring it something different than the design thinking, because design thinking is a concept. Now, once you understand the concept and you know the technology, you can apply it everywhere. So my session is not as such deep into design thinking, but my session is all about technology, where I will take you through the journey from AI to agentic AI. Okay. Generally, audience are mix of audience. Sometimes people are like new to AI, new to Gen AI, new to agentic AI. Of course, everyone will be. But yeah, I'll try my best to cater all. I generally prefer to have an interactive session. So please raise your hands. If possible, unmute yourself and ask questions so that our mind will flow with me, not got stuck with that question. Okay. So, and you can stop me anywhere in between whenever you have a question. Okay. So let's get back to the topic. So today I'll be covering agentic AI in real world applications. Okay, so how I have planned my session today is I'll start with AI. Of course, I'll not go into deeper because now AI is like very much known to all. But how and why did we move to AI to Gen AI? What type of use cases we were addressing? Now, what IBM provides in this area? And then how and why are we moving to agentic AI? And then agentic AI applications, the development things. I'll just give you a perspective so that you can go explore more in that area, which will be helpful to for the further sessions or the further improvements in this area. Okay, so let's begin with that AI. So I hope everyone must be knowing by this time what is AI. It's just a recap. Few slides will be recap. Like, AI refers the ability of computer systems which mimics the our capability like problem solving and decision making capabilities of human mind. If a machine can do what we are doing, then we can call it like, okay, that machine is intelligent. It's like artificially we have made that machine intelligent, right? So whenever we talk about AI, then common areas or common domains comes into picture where computer vision, where we say image processing and other things comes, then data science, robotics, and the NLP. NLP is the most widely used area or domain where we are really, using AI and Gen AI also. Agentic AI is taking a step ahead than Gen AI. Okay, so I hope everyone knows what is NLP. NLP meaning is like when we are talking in the natural language, like the way we are communicating now, it's an English language. If you ask if you can communicate in the same language to your system, then it's like it is processing your language and doing the actions what is supposed to be. Okay, so that is like very high level layman language. That's what we call it as an NLP, natural language processing. Now, moving on. When we started with AI, it was like, you add AI in your solutions. Now we have come to the era where we call AI plus AI to AI plus. In the sense, now AI will do, and then you add your creativity into that so that you can make your solutions much better than before. So what do we call it here? Previously, we used to collect organized data, add AI to your applications, and then we used to do automation. But now what we are doing it, AI does the work, and then slowly whatever work we were doing it was automating already. But what we were doing it additionally with the help of human, we are trying to automate that also. It means we are going towards the future where AI is doing the work and human mind is really doing something important and more on the top of that, where we cannot replace it by the system. Moreover, why not we become more productive if we use AI more? So that's where we call it now plus AI to AI plus era, where AI before comes before than the other workflows. Okay. Now, when we talk about the AI strategy, so what are the building blocks of an AI strategy? So here, if you have seen that I have shown the chat GPT. So previously in the industry, when we used to talk about AI, then we used to talk about some scenarios like, let's do some email classification. Let's do some sentiment analysis. So we used to collect the data. We used to train models for that purpose. And then we create some use cases or solutions around it. Correct? Now, when these type of use cases also were not being used by everyone. Of course, industry like IBM and we of course use that. We are technologists in this area. We used to build solutions. We deliver to the value to the clients. But if we see in the terms of academics or teachers and the faculties or research students, So when we talk about these things, they used to learn the concepts of AI, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, and the and sometimes we used to do a small use case development, correct? But now when ChatGPT has came in, it has created interest, or say aura has changed. AI aura has changed by introducing the ChatGPT. Now, is there anyone in the room who has not used ChatGPT? I believe no. I believe everyone must have used ChatGPT by this time, correct? It is all using what it uses. It uses a model, and what is that model called? Is called LLM, large language model. And using that model, it has the capability to converse in the natural language. Let's take an example in the session only for the English language. And what else you will ask? For your draft an email, or say rephrase the content, or write an abstract on the topic, give me some suggestions on the title, something like that, right? You can now write books also with the help of ChatGPT suggestions, correct? But yes, whether ChatGPT is giving the right answer or wrong, that is where you come into picture, or human mind comes into picture. Of course, we need to take a call here, or we need to do recheck at least once, right? Now, this is where ChatGPT when came into picture. That is where Gen AI got introduced to the market. When I say introduced to the market, it means post that there are multiple enhancements has come in Gen AI era itself. Now, if you have seen the people who doesn't work in this area, they feel ChatGPT is only the Gen AI, but that's not true. Gen AI is a bigger concept. So, if what is Gen AI? So, Gen AI is like which generates something for you. It can be text, it can be images, or it can be anything. Now, how it works? In fact, it can generate code also, right? How it works? What we do, the model which we trained, that model is it's like a huge number of parameters it takes into account, and uses that transformer technology. I'll not go into deep, but I'm just telling you, like previously we used to do classification model, regression model, and all. Now transformer has come, the type of neural network architecture model and all. Now transformer has come. So transformer architecture, transformer is also one type of neural network architecture which we take into account, and then using those unlabeled data, using the technology, a model gets trained. But the models which get trained using this technology are called foundational models. LLMs are one type of foundational model. That's why when we say Gen AI, so Gen AI meaning that creates new content, that creates new code, that creates new images. But for each and everything, ChatGPT will not be helpful, because the ChatGPT is an interface behind the scenes. It uses some model, and that model, of course, will not be catering to all the requirements. You cannot ask GPT model, which is being used by ChatGPT. You will not ask that, okay, create the Python code for me. It will create, but may not be necessary correct code, right? But the model which is specifically trained using transformer technology for code generation, that will give you the accurate answer. So that model will become one of the foundational model, not the LLM. So LLM, as the name stands, large language model. So always considered in that way. Gen AI works on the foundational model. LLM is one type of foundational model. ChatGPT deals with more majorly language related aspects. That is work that works on the LLM thing. Okay, so Gen AI is like take a bigger topic or bigger concept. Now AI versus Gen AI. How are we doing? I think I have almost covered these things, but just to the traditional models we used to create very much use case specific, like email classification or say summarization, and that used to take a lot of time also. But now with the help of Gen AI, it's like one model serves multiple purposes. You can tune it, or you can train it some one or the new model for your specific use case, that you have that capability. But majorly there is less fine tuning required, but it serves multiple purposes. Okay, so that's where we say content creation, code co-creation, or something like that. So it's like multitasking models. When we talk about it's Gen AI, traditional AI models were only for one purpose. If you want to extend the functionality, it calls out retraining, other things, and all. So Gen AI has reduced that effort now, and with minimized training, we get the model working for us. Now, I will just give you, this is the high level overview how the industry look at the AI thing, AI architecture, if we just talk about. So there has to be some infrastructure where we call it some cloud servers, or if you just take in your local environment, if you are just some machine has to be there, that is called as infrastructure. Then models should be deployed on that machine so that we can call that. For example, I'm not sure what all languages you are well versed with. If I just take a widely used Python language, then in Python, if you want to use any library, you will import that, right? Once you import, then only you can use this capability of that library. Similarly, that model has to be deployed on your system, then only you can call that model, you can use that API of those that model and build your solution. Your solution come at the top level where I'm showing AI assistants. Now what is here in the Gen AI platform? That's where the platform from the different companies comes into picture, make the life little easier, where foundation models are there. For the very crude way to do any AI system is like, you have your machine, you deploy your model, you create your own Python code, you call that model APIs and everything. Another way is, I will give you one tool, I'll give you one interface, you simply take care about your Python code or say application code. Rest all integration will be taken by the platform. So that's where we call it Gen AI
Ma'am,
platform.
sorry to interrupt. Are the slides moving or you are not shifting the slides?
I am at the Gen AI stack. No, I am moving
No, ma'am.
slides.
The slides are not
No, then you should
visible.
have told me why
Uh,
it should not. Okay, one
Ma'am, can
minute.
you stop sharing and
Yeah.
share the screen again?
How about now? Which is slide?
We are on building blocks of an AI strategy.
Then you are two slides back. Let me
Yes,
stop
yes.
sharing and then do. Sorry about that. It should not.
I think the slides are not moving. So you can share the screen again. I think there is a network issue. Ma'am is trying to join again.
Okay. Sorry about that. Let me try sharing the screen again. Is it
Yes,
visible
ma'am.
now?
Screen is
The
visible. Yes, yes, yes,
Gen
ma'am.
AI stack, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah,
clearly
sorry.
visible. Right.
Yeah, okay. So I thought that, like, screen movement is stopped from here. I gave an Gen AI introduction, then I tried to explain the differences between the AI versus in a Gen AI. And this is where I was showing the Gen AI stack, where I was talking about where is the infrastructure is called your system, or some hardware machine on which you will deploy your system. Um, Hardwares, or say, no, sorry, softwares. So model has to be deployed. And I was saying, if you do a crude way, then it's like you will be writing all application, Python code, calling APIs, downloading models, everything. If I give you one tool which takes all this integration on its own, and you just come and write the code in it, then it is called, like, we are providing you one platform. So when we talk about a platform, IBM provides you a Gen AI platform named as Watson X, in which in the where Watson X we provide multiple services, multiple for different purposes. Whether you would like to write assistant, you would like to deal with the data services. So for enterprise solutions, there are multiple other things which comes into picture. Everything gets linked into one platform, bundled into one platform. But whatever capabilities you want to use and then just make out of it. So using this platform or building solutions using the platform is much easier than writing your own code starting from zero, like starting from Python code, and then models, everything and all. I'll just give you a glimpse how it looks like. You may have used any other platform. I'm not sure whether everyone has used, but I'll just show you how the platform look like, and most of the other platforms also has a similar capability integrating with each other. Okay, so before moving to the cloud platform, I'll just finish this AI versus Gen AI part type, right? So when we have talked about AI, where we used to have a use cases very specific to we train model very specific to the use cases that could be related to healthcare, or say customer support also, which domain customer support we are doing. So that was like different types of use cases which we have built it in that AI era. Correct. Now, when Gen AI came into picture, then we have come up with the different types of foundational models, out of which one is LLM, large language model. But there are multiple other use cases which we can think about. What are those? Like a text generation. So text generation is the best example of the chat GPT, of course. But of course, when I am talking about in terms of IBM or say any other enterprise or any other company, everyone doesn't use chat GPT. ChatGPT is like one open source thing has come out in the market. People are using it. But when we use any other model for text generation, we built our own models. Correct? We can use GPT also. It's not like that, but data should be under our control for enterprise scenarios. But these are the examples of Gen AI: code generation, music generation, image generation, or say data generation also. Okay, so these are different types of use cases which will give you an high level idea. Okay, what was AI, why Gen AI, and then how useful it is. Okay, so this is ours called Gen AI thing. Now, what's the next? As I have mentioned, that we have multiple offerings, multiple services, where AI is what gives you a studio or say integrated development environment where you can write your code and execute it. Data talks about data services, governance. You may not be finding governance as such useful, but if you see in the industry scenario, in the industries, it is too much important, because when we are using organizations data, then data should not go out, or the data which is being considered by model makes a lot of difference. Correct? Because our data should not go out, but others data also we should not consider when we are making some AI solution. It should be totally dependent on very much minimalistic, or say not a garbage data, or say manipulated data. It should be pure data or the correct data. Okay, orchestrate is what I'll come later, which is related to agentic AI. Code assistant is helps you to for the code generation. In fact, we have a VS Code plugin also for code assistant. You can have it, and then you can start using it. Then Watsonix assistant is used for the chatbot type of thing where you can design the flow and then you can use it. Okay, so this is where the Watsonix platform comes into picture. Any questions at this moment? Then I'll just show you. Any question, any doubt, or whether it's clear? Just give me at least thumbs up so that I'll.
Participants, you can react or you can type your answers in the chat. And the mic is also allowed for each and everyone. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, good. Okay,
Hello, ma'am.
thanks. Thanks for that.
Excuse me.
So, yeah, is
Are the Gen AI tools available open source?
few of them, yes. Not all, but
For
yeah, like
example,
for example, it depends which purpose you want to use. For example, ChatGPT, that's also you can consider it as one of the Gen AI tool, correct? It's just like you log in, they are not charging anything. You may not have access of the latest data, but you can use it for NLP purposes, LLM, correct? Now, if I just see there is one more Claude AI, I think it helps you to build your websites. So that's also a it's generate. So what needs to be done? You need to give okay. Um, you have brought to me the good point. Now tell me if you have used ChatGPT, how do you converse with ChatGPT? What instructions you give and then it gives you an output.
you
Anyone
type
or
by
who?
text.
Yeah, correct. So you type a test, you give a question, and then you get the response. Similarly, other tools what are there in the market, for example, Claude AI, Canva AI. I think there are some more. I may be missing because free use, so we generally do not use such ones, right? But there are many AI tools which are meant for different purposes. For example, there is some indeed some like that also which creates videos. Claude AI creates HTML1 and then I meant one more. Canva AI is for your image generations. So there are multiple tools which are free of cost currently. You just log in. Of course, they give you access of the limited functionality. You need to provide your query in that way that you get the best answer. Okay. Now tell me what the query when we type to the system, ChatGPT or any other tool, doesn't matter. What do we call? What is that call in technical terms? That the question which we type, correct? Like for example, I am saying ChatGPT, asking that give me a story on dash dash dash, right? So
Prompt.
prompt, correct. Thank you. So the prompt is what the technical term. So now when we are going forward, when I'm talking in the session, I'll be talking about prompt for a while. Okay. So that prompt is what it's an art. Okay. That's why if you have, you must have seen that prompt engineering courses are running these days in the market. There are few sessions happening on that one. That's a, that's a very good skill to have to work with Gen AI tools, softwares, because the way you type it, the best, the good prompt will give you the good result. Otherwise, you have to do multiple iterations to reach to the desired result. Okay, so to avoid to reach to the desired result, there are multiple ways. I can type first prompt in such a way I'll get it. If someone doesn't know how to give a good prompt, they will take half an hour to do the same thing. Correct? So that prompt thing also we should understand. So now from when I'm moving to Gen AI to Agentic AI, I will be little bit, I'll be talking about the prompts. Okay. Let me cover prompts and then I will move to the Watson X. I'll show you on the dashboard and I'll show you how, if you have an IBM Cloud login, then how can you try it out some prompts, try out different things so that you will get a feel. Okay, that's how it works. Okay. So now prompts. So now you know what type, what is prompt. You know that. Okay. Type of prompts is you tell the system, give me the output in 1, 2, 3 bulleted form, or one ordered as an ordered list. That's an instruction you are giving. Correct? Now, sometimes you say, do this for me. It's like complete this sentence like that. So that's like a just an idea I'm giving. That's called completions here. Sometimes we call it, we ask simple as a question. You give me the answer. I'm not asking in which format I want an answer, but sometimes I want that also. Correct? So there are multiple prompts. But now, what should be the prompt guidelines? So, for example, you should provide context. Meaning, I am asking, give me an abstract, or say I'll just talk in your language. Then in academia field, generally when we go to a class, suppose I'm going to take a class, no, in a session, or say in a conference, I will be setting some context. What is my session all about? Correct? So if you want few effective or communicating lines suggestions from the chat GPT or the GPT model or a Gen AI system, you need to provide context that what type of audience you are targeting, what topic you are giving, how many much length, like 1 line, 2 lines you want, or you would like to have a story, or you just want to address the audience, right? Give some context. On that basis, the answer you will get will be very good. If you will just say that give me few lines on this topic, then it will give you few lines. Of course, it will not say no. But if you say, I would like to start my session, or say webinar session on this topic, give me few lines in the starting, then you will see the difference in the outputs. So that's what we call provide context. So the better context you provide, the system understands you better. Just consider some no other person as a human, and then think. For example, if you and me are talking, if I will not talk about that in my session, I will start with AI, moving to Gen AI, and then Agentic AI, and I simply come and I start with the AI slide. Of course, starting few minutes, everyone will be lost, right? So context setting is really required in any conversation. And now when Gen AI we talk about, it's like a human conversation most of the time. It's nothing lesser than that, right? So set, you need to be very specific, because then it's like you will get a very targeted output. You need to define intent and output. For, like as I mentioned, I would like to use this content where I would like to do it in the conference or in my office, or I would like to have a one say in a blog. I would like to use such things. So that's where it gives you output in that way. You can provide some examples. I'll show you how, and what do we call it. You can provide some examples so that going forward, whenever you are asking, it will give you answer in that way. Okay. Then positive and negative instructions, these are like all good to have, not must have, but starting ones are like you should have, must have. Then try chain of thought, like once the context has been set, we do iterations, make it more clear, make it concise, making this that becomes a chain of thought, and at the end of the 5 6 conversations, you will get that answer. And then adjust parameters. That's for the model tuning. That's not for only the prompting. Okay. So there are some prompt guidelines we should always remember. And the prompt engineering course is really a good course, I will suggest, to make effective use of any Gen AI tool. So for example, recently I just tried for Canva AI. It's for my personal purpose. I want to create a poster for one of my family function. And what do I want to give a message? For what purpose I need a poster, which type of image I would like to have. I would like to have a theme, darker color theme, lighter color theme, this, that, and all, right? If you can put all the requirements in one go, I'm telling you, starting first or second iteration only, you will be like done. So that's where we call it like prompt guidelines, and that it should be very good to use. You should know how to use it, Gen AI systems. Okay, so these ones are the prompt lab. I'm gonna show you from from our Watson X AI platform. These are, if I'm really not sure whether you have access of or not, but I will show you. If you have access, I'll suggest you please go and then try it out. Okay, so I'll just move it here. I'm here in general. This is what cloud.ibm.com we log in, and I will be logging in my official ID. If you have login, then yes, you need to provide your all passwords and all whatnot, right? I know many of you have access, but not sure all. So
Ma'am, your screen is not visible to us.
again, not even PPT.
Ma'am, PPT is visible,
PPT
but
is
your
visible,
whatever
ma'am.
you
PPT is visible. Okay,
Prompt
PPT is there.
guidelines, it is visible.
okay. It means browser is not visible. Okay, 1 minute. I'll stop sharing.
Ma'am, your video has stopped. Ma'am, your video has stopped.
Let me share my screen. Do you see the browser now?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Okay. I'm really sorry. I do not know why and what is happening. I do not know. It has never happened with me before. Okay. So yeah, so now I am at the cloud.ibm, like IBM Cloud Dashboard. This is where the dashboard is. Mostly all clouds are same, but of course UI is different, correct? So here you have a catalog where you will find it what all offerings and the services we are having it. So if I just go here and search for what's the next, so you will see others what's the next supported services. I'll go here on what's the next platform. I'll click it here, then it will show me all the options. As I mentioned, data, AI, governance. So I'll just go what's the next AI. So, okay. So here you need to create a project or, this is mine only. So you need to create projects and then start with that. And you can go here prompts. So yeah, so these are the samples. I'll show you the samples prompt. So if you go here, foundational models, so these are the models which are available already in the platform. I told you, right? So if you want to do it in your local development, then you will be using all these things in your local, but you can download only those Olama or the free ones or the smaller in size, because otherwise download itself takes a lot of time, correct? Now, when you have done this one, then on the platform, you just come here and we have an option. I'll show you in a way. We have an option where you will say, okay, just use this model, use that model. Like that, we go ahead and then do it. So once you come here, we have multiple different projects already, which you can use it, at least read about it. If not use it, you can read about it. And then, you are, at least you will be getting in some information here and there. Now, if I come here, this one. So meeting transcript scenario classification. For example, if I go here, prompts. So this is This is where it is showing. It says write a short summary for the meeting transcripts. This is this particular use case which I am showing. It is for this purpose. Okay. I'm not showing you what's the next AI capability or something. I'm showing only the prompt lab where I'm saying you can come here, play with different models. So for example, if you see here, this is the model currently this example is using. Okay. It shows here transcript, like, you can come here, paste it, chat like that, like the way you are having the Teams chat, right? You can have the chat like that, and then it will give you a summary. Okay. Now, similarly, when the meeting transcript, our teams generally have the transcript option also. If that is enabled, you can take that, just copy paste, and then it will give you a summary out of it. Right. So this is where you can do. Now, I will open it in the prompt lab. Okay. It will ask me to create a project. Should not give any error. Okay, so once we do that, so in prompt lab, it shows you multiple different ways to do. For example, structured or say free form. And there is one more way where you can provide the prompts. So let it come. I think I'll come back on this one. I'll not spend time in this one once it is set up. Okay, it is done. Yeah. Okay. So this is my. Sorry about it. I need some runtime service instance for time being. Yeah. Done. Sorry. Do not worry about what all integrations I'm doing, because each and every platform has its own, right? When I'm running a model, I need some runtime where model will be running. So that's where the runtime service comes into picture. I just need to attach it in the platform. So yeah, there are three different ways: chat, structured, and freeform. And here is what you can change the models. You can go here, view all, and change the model. I'll make it little faster. Otherwise, I'll spend more time. So here, if I come here, is structured, you can type your input, like type one question and with what type of output you are looking for. Then next time, new test, you type your input, you should get in the structured format, whatever you do. Free form is like you just say, I will give you this text, you give me words, may just write in words, you give me the bulleted points as an output. So that's where the free form comes. Okay, I am moving back to my PPT. Let me know if you can see it. Is my screen visible? And I am showing Watson X AI Prompt Lab PPT.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is where I was showing you that we have a prompt lab where you can try it out different things here and there, and then proceed with that. Now, if you have heard about prompting, this is very common terms which you should be always register in your mind: zero shot prompting, one shot prompting, and few shots. So the way I was showing here, give a different examples. So zero shot meaning you are not providing any example, you just directly testing the model. You give the input, you will get an output. Then one shot prompting means you are providing one example saying that my question will be in this format, give me this output. Few shots means you are giving multiple examples, more than of course one, and then giving output also. So based on that, you can try it out your input. So it's just a term for you to know, because when we talk about Gen AI and all, these terms has become very much common. So you should know about it. Okay. So that's just to, with that intention, I have included this in my PPT. Okay. So zero shot, one shot, and few shot. Okay. Now that's about the Gen AI, where which generates things for you. It could be text generation, it could be something else. Now then AI, how will you build solution using Gen AI? You will have a prompt, you will have LLM in picture, and then output. Correct? By any chance, did any one of you has built any solution using Gen AI or using any LLM model, or any other one uses other than Chat GPT? It will be helpful for me to take an example according to that. Anyone? or at least mm, ChatGPT, everyone knows how it works. Yes, no, please.
Google Gemini.
Google Gemini, yes. That's again one of the ChatGPT type. Yes, it's an NLP LLM based interface for you. Yes. Anything, anyone else, any other LLM or any other tool?
Perplexity.
Perplexity, yes. That's again a LLM based solution. For what purpose did you use Perplexity?
Perplexity for the research and generation of the some information of new
Hmm.
topics.
Okay, good. Okay, so it means, yeah. So how it works, if you want to design your solution like that, right? You need to have one interface. What interface I'm talking about? The way ChatGPT has, the way Google Gemini has, the way Perplexity has. One interface where you need to provide your question, right? That's called UI interface. Okay. How it works behind the scenes. I'm going little technical in how it works behind the scenes. It takes your question as a query that calls it as an input prompt. It passes to LLM. LLM processes your input, turns back this out, creates an output, and that output is either shown as is to your screen or just modified, beautified a little and shown it on the screen. So that's how the systems what you have used, it works. Correct? Now, what if currently you are thinking what type of text I need? Can you give me some examples? Gen AI is helping you to make work easier. But how about if AI do all the things for you? For example, you give a problem statement. Now, for that problem statement, what needs to be done? How this problem should be solved? What type of activities should be performed by this by for this for to execute or to solve this problem? And what type of tools or what type of supporting system I should use it? How about if system has all this knowledge in it, all these capabilities in it, and gives you an output? Will not that be great? That's nothing but is an AI agent. Where how do we solve our problem? We suppose I need to deliver a session. Just take that example. That's a problem statement for me to given to me. How will I approach for that? I will think about the problem statement. I need to deliver a session. What is a good topic? If topic is that one, then what type of audience I am targeting? Which type of content I should prepare? And do I need to study something else to prepare on that topic? Etc. Right? So for such purposes, if AI agent is there for such purpose, then why not I give the problem statement and it will give me the all the sequence to do that. Correct? So that's where AI agents come into picture. They have the capability to think and plan, to break down a bigger problem into the smaller pieces, or we call it like steps, and then they act on it. They get the result out of it. If it is a good result, then they make one output in a consumable way and give it to you. Okay, that's what AI agent is. Now, how it works and all types of different technologies are coming into picture or has come into picture, which helps. But that's what is AI agent. It is an autonomous system. I'll just highlight few things which you really know. When someone will ask you what is an AI agent, you should be knowing it. Okay. So then AI agent is an autonomous system. When I say autonomous, meaning it can think on its own. It uses some tools and collaborate with other agents to plan or act on it. Once it design the actions like what not, what all actions I need to do, it takes action on it performs on it. It comes out with some output. It takes that output as a learning of of the system, and it can refine it also to better align in the future things. It has its own short term, long term memory where it can store the context, And the tools and agents are what where we as a human mind can provide help to the agent. Okay, so what is the thing here in this AI agent? Input is your, as simple as that, the prompt is the input, but you will not be breaking down the problem into the smaller part. Let agent be plan, execute and reflect on it. You will simply get the output of the execution. That's what AI agent is. Okay, again, same thing. It is an LLM powered systems. We use LLM power that autonomously perform task. They perceive the environment, like what was happening in the tool, what has happened. Like, AI agents, we built it for a particular, I'll not say for a domain or a use case, but yeah, we need to train for some specific type of activities. It's not like everything this agent do. Agents are coming into picture which are specific, or like for example, I'm very good at some ABC work, you might be good at PQR work. Similarly, AI agents are designed in such a way. Okay. Unlike simple prompts, agents design workflows. If for Gen AI system, we used to give prompts and it gives me answer, something like that. But agentic AI or say AI agents can handle multi-step processes. They can think about it. They can break down the problem in it. So there are different components or say different steps. Perception is what input processing, planning, the action, and the reflection. Okay, so the real world, the different types of problem, it could be research, it could be not, I'll say coding, or I will say some personalized learning path, some other types of use cases will be apt for AI agents. Okay, now slowly once you'll start using it, I'll show you how can you start with it. Then you will really get to know what is happening behind the scene. Okay. This is the generic example, AI assistant versus AI assistant with agent. So how a chatbot works. You must have seen for many multiple chatbot supports, correct? Like uh, say any app, banking app, or say any traveling app, make my trip another, right? They have a chatbot where you type in question, they will give you an answer. If answer is not apt, you will go back, or they transfer to the manual system, human intervention also sometimes, right? So this is what the AI assistant where we have given, okay, if question comes like this, not exactly like this, we find out the intent and the uh, context out of it, your question, and then system gives the answer. But that's a very standard combination because answer is what we quoted. System doesn't quote it, right? We quote it and then we can just get that. So that is what AI assistant. Now, when we talk about AI assistant with agent, then AI agent can think of beyond, which you have not coded, but it, it will understand from your question. So just in case, I would like to give an example. For example, you are planning a vacation. Okay. Now for your vacation planner, you should know what, how many, if I take my case, my system should know how many vacations I can plan, in the sense it can integrate with my vacation tool, how many vacations I can is remaining accordingly. When I'm saying I need to plan for November, this, then I'm not telling, I just say plan. Now, AI agent can think of when are you planning? Say November, 5 days, for example. It's an agent. If you are planning, what will you think? You will see, first of all, in this time frame, where are the good places to visit in this time, where which type of weather it will be, or something, right? It may ask few questions to get the better answer, but it will think on its own. That's the capability has come inbuilt to the system when we use the agentic AI, correct? So here, and of course we use LLMs for that, because how a agent think, right? So similarly, LLMs are made for that. But then it generates, it sends conversation confirmation. For example, suppose that there is a system where I say I need to plan my 4 days vacation in November 18 to 24, something like that. Now it's an agent responsibility to find out the weather. In this weather, or say, what type, it can ask my preference. If it is like it has access to my profile somewhere, then it can personalize already for me. If not, then it can ask few questions like which what are the interest I have. Then on that basis, it can suggest according to this weather, this place will not be good or will that be good. Not only this, if I say give me some packing instructions, then it may go to think in that way. If I have, of course, if I have coded in that way, like if I'm going for a beach vacation, like on vacation, if I'm going at a beach place and it is very sunny there, then you should pack sunscreen also. Like that, right? So these are like very small, small things which we think of. Now agent can think of. Okay, so this is what we say. It has a capability to think and act accordingly, but it needs some questions, some answers in between to make it perfect. For that particular purpose, we bring tools in between, which we develop and give a access to the agent, saying that, okay, these tools you can use. Whether to use or not use, that's an agent's responsibility to use it. Okay. Is it clear? Like, are you getting the concept of agentic AI? If it is first time, it is little difficult to understand. If you have any background already, then well and good. But basic understanding, I think it should be very clear. It can think and act. It has its own memory also, and it takes help of some tools, and it acts on it. It learns from it. Those are the key things which, when you say you know agentic AI, you should know this. Any questions on it? I'm keeping it very high level. I'm not going to more technical details. That will be too much for this session. But if you understand this much, you can really, when you search, you will understand more on this. So my job is like something has to be registered in your mind so that once you go back and search, you will understand what exactly is happening. Any questions on the agentic AI agents? At least you get an idea. You're getting the concept. Is there any question if you want to ask in the chat or unmute? Okay. Okay. You can give me thumbs
Session
up, wisdom.
coordinator can take up the
Madam,
questions if there are.
hello,
Yeah.
Shikha. Are we
Yes.
going to cover in this how the AI assistant with agent is to be built?
I will not be covering in detail, but I'll give you how can you build. I'll be talking about it.
Okay.
If the concept is clear, not this use case. See, AI assistants, I think everyone knows that we can build it like Watson X assistant and all, or the way we used to build chat systems. But I'll be talking about it, some open source frameworks which you can use it and build it. Next is that. Okay. Okay, let's move on then. Now, I'm moving to another topic called link chain. Now, conceptual wise, it is clear what is AI agent, what is AI, and what is Gen AI itself. Right? Now, we should see something in action. I will not be covering today like hands-on type thing here, but I'll be giving you sufficient information and talking about it, which you can go back some use cases, you will get it ready-made to try. There's some examples and examples which you can try it out. Okay. I hope my screen is visible. I'm at the LangChain slide.
Visible, ma'am.
Okay.
Visible.
Yeah, good. Okay, so now we are having one frameworks like Python is the language you can code it, correct? Now, when you build a Gen AI solutions, what you need to do? You need to take an input. You should have one LLM model in the in between. You should consider that model, design a prompt, give that prompt to the input as an input to the model, get that output. But it's not that easy to code, right? So everything you cannot code just vanilla Python language, because then how will you involve, you need to involve some packages or something like that. LangChain is one of the framework which helps you to build your solutions. Okay, so LangChain is for specifically Gen AI solutions. Okay, what it does, it connects to LLMs. It allows, and if I'm using LangChain framework, tomorrow if I use something else, of course some syntax will change, concept will remain the same. Okay, I'm using an example of LangChain because it is widely used and comparatively easier to use also. It can chain the multiple components, and it can agent part I'll come later. Okay, so it is a popular open source framework. I'm talking about all Python one because generally for AI, Python is the most useful language or most widely used language. This can be this can be integrated into that Python. It's a framework. You can just import it and try using its interface. Now, when you will be exploring the API, you will get to know more better. How can I do that, right? If time permits, I will try to share some of the sample code, but if time permits, okay. Otherwise, you can reach out to me later, or this is so much of open, like, you will get many samples in general. If you search, you will find it many examples. Okay, so LangChain simplifies the implementation of many tasks. For example, you can write each and everything, you can write your own libraries, but that code becomes very complex and readability also goes at some point in time. So you can use this framework, call the APIs, code is cleaner, and you are using the capability which is already there in the market. No need to reinvent the wheel every time. Correct? So now, how to give an input to LLM, how to call which LLM you need, from where to call. This is what you need to decide which model you are using it. I think in some time back, I have already taken one session where which model to decide, like for your solution, you should choose different, you should choose one best model for your solution. That is like a separate activity which requires some effort and some technique. But once you decide it, then LangChain framework comes into picture. You call that model, pass your prompt, output, it will come to you. Okay. Now, when you do prompt template LLM response, this is called a simple chain. But what happens when you have some bigger question or a bigger response is coming, you will not get output just like that because when we are talking to LLM, I'll just go little deeper in technical. When you talk to LLM, the length of your input and output matters. That's why we call it, and the iterations with the prompt we do, that is what we are calling it as a chain. Correct? So if you can design a prompt, smart prompt in such a way it is a brief, smaller in length, serves the whole purpose, then nothing like that. If not, then you need to augment the query. Okay. You need to augment the query where we say output will not fit in one window. What we do, we capture in multiple windows, then we combine, give it to LLM, summarize, make it one as like a no, make it one paragraph. If you're getting a 5 paragraphs, make it one output and then get the final one. So that is how in general Gen AI works, because of course Gen AI will not be so simple, right? Every time you will give one paragraph input, we will get one paragraph output. It doesn't happen. But when you are asking to ChatGPT also, and if it is you are getting a bigger answer, this is how the second part is happening behind the scene. You are getting multiple outputs, getting it summarized, and then the one output, final output is shown to you. Okay, so it requires little bit, multiple iterations. It requires summarization. It's not as simple as that as it looks like. So behind the scenes, technical things are a little different. Okay, but they take care. Now, when I'm building a solution, for example, this particular piece has been taken care by ChatGPT, by Google Gemini, by Perplexity, everything. But when you are designing your own system, you need to take care for this part. How to combine the outputs, which model to use, how to summarize the outputs, something like that. Everything we need to take care, whoever is writing the solution. Okay. Now this is for the Gen AI, we use the LangChain. Now, how about agentic AI? How about AI agents we write it? We use the Lang graph. So Lang graph is nothing but an extension of LangChain. Okay. And it of course, as the AI agents works on the LLM, so it works also on the top of LLMs. Now, again, the LangChain benefits we know. Similarly, we have a Lang graph benefits also, that it allows you to, in fact, do the orchestration of multiple agents, where you can bring it human in the loop also capabilities. Wherever you need an intervention of the human, you can put it in, you can code that also in the using the Lang graph. So there are multiple controls, multiple things which are like, abstracted from your thing, and it makes your coding experience better. You can focus on your solution instead of going into nitty gritty. Oh, how to pass this, how to call one agent to another agent. Instead of use this line graph framework and call the agent. Okay. So how it works in the task management, I think it's AI agent thing. Now, similar thing in the Lang graph concept. How it works, you give the input, because it's in one task. Again, a technical term, we need to maintain a state, task state. Okay, whether task has been completed. When I'm breaking a task into multiple steps, then all steps should be executed. By that time, task state should be, somewhere it says it is still incomplete, so that I can execute all the steps. Correct? So once I execute all the steps, then you can complete it, and at the end, you can summarize the task and their outputs and show it to the user. Sometimes task is so small, then you can just go step 1 and step 2. But sometimes A gets broken into B and C, or there are multiple paths. Yes, if it happens, do this. If doesn't happen, do this. Then at the end, you need to summarize. Okay, so it's all being taken care by the APIs. But when you know the concept, you need to code in such a way that AI agent will think about all the possibilities. Okay, this is like a simple thing that you can find out other ways also. I hope I have covered this agentic versus non-agentic AI solutions part, where it has a memory. Non-agentic solutions generally have a like a short-term goals type. It will not plan further. But in agentic AI solutions, you give a problem statement, it will plan all the ways. For example, as I mentioned, right, I want to plan for a vacation. One way is you just give it to vacation planner, and then as in Gen AI solution, it will give you, okay, and for this place you can do it. But agentic AI will think about more possibilities. It will give me according to weather. That's like you are not thinking, you didn't code to think in such a way that agentic AI will think about weather and then give the locations thing. That's the system things. But how will it get the access of weather? We should have a weather API somewhere in place where system can access that API. Correct? System knows that it should, he can think about it. But to get that output, you need to have an access. So that particular API, or we call it supporting system, or technical terms tools. So those tools we create, we give that access, that you can access all these tools. They decide when to use, when not to use. Okay. So any question on that if I move in little more deeper? I wanted to touch upon multi-agent systems because agentic AI is what one thing, but these days, again, multi-agent system is also we are talking about too much. So I'll just give you very high level. I'll not go into very much detail, but any questions on that?
Madam, give the real-time example.
Okay. I'll come to that agentic AI use cases. I'll cover that. Okay. Fine. So, okay, I see some one top one comment or say in the chat also, that is a highly technical one. I tried my best to keep it very low, but still without this much detail, I think I was not able to. I am not able to explain Agentic AI. But yeah, real world example. So now when you are saying that you have used ChatGPT previously, there were no examples also of ChatGPT. Okay, now you know because you have used it. Now, similarly, agentic AI is currently being used majorly in industries. So you have not seen any example. So it is difficult to relate with that real world example. But if you ask me, in our industry, we are replacing systems with that agentic AI. Systems or say the work which I do. For example, task prioritization. If I just take a job of a project manager and I say that these many issues are coming in, we need to prioritize the issues and then uh, accordingly we need to plan the work, right? It is one of the examples which I am thinking of. On that basis, what will you do? You have some criteria to decide whether this issue is important, this issue is not important, is it aligning to our strategy or not, or many other factors, how much time it will take to fix, right? There are multiple factors which you can think of when deciding whether issue is on priority, we should work on it or we should not work on it. I'm just taking in my world, I'm taking a real life example in my world, it's an industry. Okay, so now when a person can think of all the capabilities. Now, how about if an agent can think of? So what we will do, we will tell agent, these are the multiple factors which you need to think about. How will you find out whether aligning to strategy or not? There will be some tool which can tell whether, yeah, this is in the strategy. See, generally it doesn't work in like 0, 1, yes or no binary form, correct? So there has to be some intelligence built in where LLM comes into picture. So there are multiple tools to support that system. And using those systems, it can take a decision. So sometime back we did no prioritization can be done on an if else basic, if else thing. If it is taking like if it is a small issue aligning with the strategy, and if you want to finish it off by this time, it's like a high priority, something like that, right? Now if 3 4 factors are there, you can take a decision. But when we work in the industry or think about any customer where multiple things are happening and what we need to do, what not we need to do, multiple factors where LLM also comes into picture, builds their past history, use the experience out of it, and then we can decide, okay, this issue is on priority or not, yes or no. So that's like one of the example which is really being used in the industry. We also use it, correct? Now, for example, just convert your customer support. Currently customer support answers you on the basis of some predefined questions, predefined responses, and he tries to fit in your question into that. But as we know, our chatbot doesn't help much or doesn't solve every time our problems. Correct? So our problems varies. Your problem varies, my problem varies, everyone converts in a different ways. The problem varies. Accordingly, agent also has to think in that direction. Sometimes, so AI agents, if you just think about example I gave in the previous slide, AI assistant versus with agent, where agent can think of more possibilities. It is not coded. See, the difference, high difference is everything is not coded. The chatbot, which is currently running, it's mostly all coded thing. But this agentic thing, what we are talking about, it is using LLM based fine-tuned models intelligence behind the system, and it has its own reasoning power. Okay, so when you are asking your question to the customer, customer is asking the question to the system, then it can think of more possibilities. It it can it can give you the right answers. For example, again an industry answer. Now, suppose you are using a Watson X platform on our IBM cloud, okay? And for some reason, whatever purpose you are using, it is not working. One case is like you will come here and create a support ticket and then it's like you see and all. But if it is a working example, like for example, you are executing some code and it is not working as expected, you are expecting some response, it is not working. How about if I provide you a chat support where it can go at the runtime system, it can go at the runtime, check it out what is happening behind the scenes, why it is failing, what error what is the actual error, how can we solve this, how to solve this. Of course, I should provide some information behind the scenes to the system. So that's a tool, that's a supporting tool. But it can take a call and it can act on it at the runtime where what is the error, which log it should go in. I'm not coding all the things in. Okay, so that's where, like, just think agent is your replica, and sooner you will see more usage of that because you are not seeing in the real time uses currently. So you are not finding it. For example, third example I can give you as a code assistant. Okay, you go, if you are comparing with Gen AI, you go to the code assistant, you design one system and say, give me the code for this one, it will give you the code. Now, what is happening is intelligence is built in that way. You are just giving the problem statement. How you should code, what all functions it should write, how should you approach the problem to solve. It is all agentic AI. If you have seen that, then it is agentic AI. It is not Gen AI. Okay, so we are unleashing the power of Gen AI, but with the help of agentic AI technology, which is like it is very much similar to the human minds and human the way. So we can really automate many works, and we can focus on something different, which agentic AI, of course, cannot do at this moment. I hope I could help you in relate with some practical examples. So and just take with wherever you are taking a decision, changing the decision at runtime. For example, say learning path, personalized learning path. For example, I am a student, I am learning some course. Okay. Now, in that learning course, I am facing some difficulties. I may be having some Q&A support somewhere. Now, from their Q&A support, if the system can understand, oh, okay, person is finding difficulty in this area, let's talk about this in detail. You may be finding it easier, but I might be finding it difficult, right? So it can introduce AI or human touch there, which is nothing but an agentic AI use case. Correct? So that's how, like, the way we solve the problem, we are trying, or in a very layman language, if I can do something, AI agent, I can make AI agent also doing the same thing. So that's where AI agent, you just consider it's a replica of human mind. And then, of course, not everything I can do, but most of the things agentic AI can do. So in agentic AI, when I give a task, it can break into different purposes and all. That's where we call it steps into one task. But there are use cases where multiple agents comes into picture. Like each agent has a specific role. I'll not go into more slides, but I'll just give you an example. Like again, industry example. Like we are writing a code, we have a process that it should be reviewed, quality wise code has to be reviewed, and then only it should go into the system, production system. Or we have a capability, we have a additional requirement, uh, we need to create the documentation related to the code, so that once we release it, it should be released with the proper documentation so that it is easily consumable. So here I can design multi-agent system where one agent is to write the code, another one is to review the code, third one to generate the documentation, and they all will talk synchronously or in a different way, depends on what pattern I have chosen. But they, at the end, I need code with the documentation, reviewed code with the documentation. So this is where, multiple agents, one agent is specialized for something, but let them talk to each other and give me the final solution. So that's the those are the use cases where multi-agent comes into picture. So I have just created few slides which I will not go in now, but I'll just give you one example. There are multiple frameworks. You just go, it's an all open source one. You read about it, you will get to know Crew AI, AutoGen, ChatDev, multiple open source ones. And Crew AI is what majorly used currently in the market in terms of open source framework, where you will see, okay, what are the processes, tools, and it has some inbuilt solutions or the examples available for you to read about, to try it out, and it works. Okay, so that's where the Crew AI or the multi-agent systems you can build it. Not only this, I'll not we talk about that. It's just like we have a Watson X orchestrate service where we used to talk about, like, you bring either you write your lang graph agent, you write your agent with Crew AI, or you write your agent in Watson X orchestrate. But our platform offering orchestrate will help you to set up a multi-agent system. You can build in the code assistant also here. So using the Watson X orchestrate, you can build AI assistant with agent offering also. So yeah, this is like another level, but yeah, that's where like high level thing I would wanted to cover it up. Any questions on it? Any questions, comments? I hope it was useful, and at least it will give you an idea of the agentic AI.
Ma'am, there are some questions in the chat.
Okay. Okay, let
Uh,
me open it. Okay. So they say, what is the relation between the agentic AI and the design thinking? So as I mentioned in the starting, design thinking is the approach to solve the problem. Agentic AI is the technology. You take a problem to solve, you take the problem which you want to solve. Now, but you solve the problem via the design thinking approach, in the sense you will collect the inputs from design thinking has multiple phases. I'm not sure how many sessions has been done already on design thinking, but you it has multiple phases where you will go through the personas, you go through the scenarios, and then at the end you say, okay, let's do this MVP, minimum viable product first, and then let's see what are the results. So design thinking is the approach to solve the problem. If I want to solve a problem via the agentic AI, if it's a small problem, I'll just build it. But if you just design thinking always help if you are planning to solve a bigger use case, but starting with POC. But it's not like you just show me this output, and that POC will not help you to get a buy-in to build a solution. So you should find a smaller one but a meaningful outcome, meaningful problem statement to solve in the POC. Design thinking, one of the use cases that design thinking can help you to find out that, but you have to build it via the agentic AI. Okay, so because it is AI related FTP, so AI concepts are also equally important along with design thinking. So that's why I mentioned in the starting, I will not be covering design thinking, but I'll be covering AI concepts. Okay, so now is agentic AI can think complex real world problem? Yes, that's like the future we are looking for. And that's where the technology is evolving to achieve that. It can do some many things, but still it is evolving technology. It's a new technology, and it has reached to the some level, but of course it requires some more advancements in the technology, and that's why it has become a very good research area these days. In fact, I did publish my recent one of my recent IEEE paper on this agentic AI design patterns, like how agents are communicating, or how this agentic AI gets fit into, in the architecture of the problem statement. So yeah, it's a good research area also. Okay, whether any ERP software like SAP using AI, Gen AI, etc. Yes, very soon you will see. These days, every tool has the integration of AI in, or no, some way they have AI in it for sure. Gen AI is also like getting in built in, but sooner you will see agentic AI integration also. But AI comes with the cost, so you will not be able to see in the like a free offerings or something. It may come with some premium packages. And in enterprise softwares, if we say it is AI integrated, of course it should have some value in it. Then only it goes, it goes after rigorous testing cycles. It should have some value add, then only customers will pay. So many softwares or almost all softwares are now AI enabled. Now, up to what level AI, Gen AI, Agentic AI they are using, it all depends on the software and their usage also. Okay. I think I covered all the questions. Yes. Yeah. I think there is no more question. Is there any other question anyone wants to unmute and ask? Feel free to ask. Otherwise, we are on time. Okay, then thank you very much, everyone, for attending the session. And again, thanks to Sir connecting again to the, GKB University. It's always a pleasure to give a session to the good audience. Very interactive session though today. Yeah, over to you, Sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I have also tried with you the IBM Watson. I was trying to log in and was taking to uh, trying to learn some new concepts.
Yeah, surely.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful session. I hope the participants have also learned so many things. Now I invite the session coordinator to formally thank the resource person.
Heartfelt thank you to you, ma'am, for providing us productive insights and for sharing your expertise on the given topic. Your efforts helps us learn and grow. On the behalf of organizing committee, we extend our warm regards and heartfelt thank you to you again for your expert lecture and warm and your valuable time. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Now we are going to start with the next session without any delay. I request the session coordinator to introduce the speaker of the session.
May I do a quick mic check here? Can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir. Your slides are visible and you are also visible, sir.
And am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Cool, great.